Right, welcome back. This is part 2 of a 4-part series where I'm attempting to put together a beginner's hi-fi through components I bought from eBay, a budget bookshelf system. In part 1, I saved a little bit of money by getting 3 components in one with this Technics SAK5L. This is a cassette, so that's a cassette player, recorder, radio and an amplifier all in one component. But by doing that, I've saved a little bit of money that I'm now going to splash out on these speakers. Rather than buying some second-hand speakers that could be of dubious quality, I've decided to spend the money on buying some new speakers that are award-winning ones. So let me show you the speakers that I chose. So they're Q Acoustics 2020i. They won a What HiFi award back in 2011 according to the box. But speakers don't change that much. I mean, they still sell these ones now, and they're still getting 5 out of 5 in reviews, so I wouldn't worry too much about the fact they've been on the market a few years. It's probably a good thing in a way. It shows that they're a trusted and well-respected speaker. Maximum price, perhaps £220 at one point. My price, £89.99, including delivery from a seller on eBay. Brand new, of course, unopened. Just some sort of deal. I mean, you can get them in shops for about £110, £120, but since I was getting everything from eBay, I saw these there, decided to pick them up and just add them to the collection of things that are going into this compact hi-fi. You can see, as with anything new really, that costs a reasonable amount of money, they package them with care, and it does feel like you bought something very expensive really when you're opening these up. I mean, £90 for a pair of speakers like this is remarkable really. Excellent quality. You can just tell by picking them up the weight of them. I've removed the speaker grill off here. Of course, the choice is up to you as to whether or not you have the speaker grill on there or not, but you can see the woofer and the tweeter. Quite a deep speaker, this one. Solid though, very heavy, rubber feet on the bottom. It's not going to be vibrating around on a surface, this one. We've got a bass port at the back. Included inside the box are these 2 foam bass port plugs that you can pop in there. The reason you might want to do that is apparently if you put it too near a wall, it might be a bit too bassy, and that will reduce that down. Otherwise, just keep it a few inches away from the wall. Now, as far as connecting it up, I don't really pay too much attention to speaker cables. You just get a reasonable quality one, and that will do. Now, I'd prefer to have it with banana plugs on the end, but of course the banana plugs can't go into my amplifier because of its type of speaker connectors. I could put them into this end here, and as you can see, just pop one into one end and one into the other. We can bi-wire these as well, and the wire goes out of the back there. I'd normally get a pre-terminated speaker cable like this of the right length. It just saves you putting on your own banana plugs on the end. You know it's well connected up, but with the fact that the amplifier doesn't accept banana plugs, I'm not going to bother using these ones and cutting the end off. It seems a bit of a shame. Also notice the wires on these, you can identify the difference between them, one red, one black, whereas on this one, a little bit more difficult to tell the difference. You don't want to mix your wires up, of course. The only way you can spot it on this is there's writing every now and then on one of the cables. So you have to very carefully look at them and then wire it up so that you've got the same wire going in at both ends, but there's no kind of color coding going on. Quite a lot of people do tend to get their wires crossed over. It's something that you really do want to pay attention to. So yes, with this one you'd have the writing, say, on the right wire, and you'd stick with that all the way through. Better to use a wire like this one. You can see there's 2 different colours here, so we can allocate red to right and silver to left, or white to left, I suppose you could say. But yeah, at least with this one you can see the wire colours all the way down. So yeah, all I'd say about speaker cable, just get ones that you can easily identify which wire's which. Also, when you're crimping them onto these connectors, make sure you're crimping it onto the wire itself and not onto the plastic sheath that goes around the wire, otherwise you might end up getting sort of crackly sounds on your audio. I'd prefer to have the speakers with the grill off the front. I just like the look of it, but the grill of course is audio transparent, so it doesn't matter if you prefer to have it on there. It's not going to affect the sound quality, but I just like the look of speakers with the grill removed. Now, another thing to say about wiring up speakers, just make sure you wire the right speaker to the right output, and the left one to the left one for that matter, because there are a surprising number of people mix them up. I've done quite a few videos where I've demonstrated things in stereo, and it's got people to get in touch and say they didn't realise they'd wired the speakers up the wrong way round. I think it's perhaps because you've got the amplifier turned the other way round, so you're kind of looking at things backwards. So definitely worth reading those those indicators, those marks next to the terminal outputs, and just having a think about it in 3D that you're wiring them up right. Now, the wires on this one here, I'd soldered some ends onto those, and I noticed that these twisty type of speaker terminals don't like dealing with a solid wire like that, so I've just had to strip some additional wire off the end of here so that I could then get it to work. Apparently that sort of mechanism that's inside there, it bends the wire as you twist the connector, so you need a wire that's got a bit of flexibility in it. But now with the speakers attached, I can finally listen to my cassette for the first time. Yes, that word is annoying. I don't even like saying it myself. But let's have a listen to this cassette that I've previously recorded. So all the music is from the YouTube audio library. I'm not sure of the name of that particular track. I've got a tape full of these that I use to test various things with. That recording was done without any Dolby noise reduction. Of course, this particular machine will support Dolby B, but I recorded it without, just to hear how clear it was, and then later on I can mess around with Dolby and things. Let's just try the FM reception, although there is no aerial plugged in.
Mr. Twitter.
I'm quite impressed that the radio's managing to pick anything up inside the house without a proper antenna attached to the back. Notice there's a button on here where I can activate the muting mode for FM, which means that if the signal isn't strong enough, it silences it until you tune into the part that is strong enough. But also notice at the top I've got a tuning indicator and an FM stereo indicator on there as well. I think what I want to do next is to try and record off the radio, but before I do that I'll need to construct a quick simple aerial to pull in a better quality of signal inside the house here. So I'm going to use this mains cable. I'm just going to strip out the copper earth wire and I'll attach that up to the FM antenna input, and hopefully that will pull in a stronger signal so that I can then do a proper recording in stereo off the radio.
Now then, next week you are tripping over fantastic releases.
Oh, full house next week.
Right, so that seems to be working a lot better, so I'll swap out this tape of pre-recorded music, put in a blank tape instead, and we'll record something now. Now, one thing I want you to notice is, behind the tape at the moment, the light is a kind of green colour, but put this thing into record pause mode, it turns orange. Now, that's something I've never seen on a tape deck before, and I think is a really nice idea. You can immediately see whether this device is in record mode or not. And the other thing that changes is the function of the display. When you activate record, the indicator just lights up the right hand side because it has now become a recording level indicator. It doesn't need to light up both sides at once because we can only adjust the left and right channels at the same time with the recording level dial. So you just spin that around, get it into the right position, but by seeing that it's lit on the right hand channel only, you know that it's currently functioning as a recording level control. Of course, the recordings it makes are in stereo, and to me sound really good, pretty much indistinguishable from the original.
You're sure to find the perfect outfit for festive occasions. The Laura Ashley sale, with up to 50% off in-store and online.
So let's just check now that the track skipping function's working fine. To activate this, hold down play and press forward or reverse at the same time, and it will find the next track in that direction. Right, I think it's time to give these speakers a little bit of a workout.
You ever wonder what it means to make it by any means and finally attain your dreams? Get this money, get the dream, hard work and sacrifice, but now that I know what I mean. Most of these rappers ain't got no class like Bob Threat, and it don't matter where you at, if you white or if you black, if you rich or you poor, we gon' always want more.
Right, so this is shaping up to be a really nice little system. It sounds great and it's functioning perfectly, and it doesn't really look all that much out of date. I suppose the speakers are helping quite a bit here. That main unit there, though, that's 35 years old. Right, so that's where I'm going to leave part 2. But I've got to say, I am really very happy with the items that I've bought so far. Surprisingly so. I mean, okay, the speakers, well, they're brand new. I wouldn't expect there to have anything wrong with them at all, but they really are well made and excellent value for money. Brilliant quality as well. Nice, well-rounded sound. And I haven't, of course, run them in yet, so they could even sound better over time. I think I've got quite lucky though with this. This YSIV could have been a really bad decision. It was a way of saving money by having 3 things in one, but by putting 3 things in one, there's quite a lot of stuff to go wrong, especially considering that it dates back to the early 1980s. So I think I'm quite lucky that everything in this is functioning perfectly, just as it would have done when it was new. Now, we'll see if I can keep this run of good luck going in part 3. In part 3, I'm going to be getting the record player out of its bubble wrap, setting it up, and I'll find out with that whether I bought another peach or a lemon. But that's all going to happen in part 3, which I hope is going to be along tomorrow. But as far as part 2 goes, that's it for the moment. As always, thanks for watching.